Alright, so I'm going to show how to open up and disassemble this HP laptop model 15t-as100. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is remove all the screws from the bottom. So we are going to need a T5 or Torx 5 screwdriver for that. Alright, you want to keep all the screws in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. The way I do that is I put them flat side down like this on my desk in the pattern I remove them. So you see there's 2 up here and then there's 4 down here. I believe there's also some hidden screws underneath this rubber piece, so we're going to peel that up and check. The customer brought it to me with this missing, so it must have fallen out or something. But anyways, let's go ahead and get all these screws out and put them in order. Alright. Okay, 2, 3, and 4. If this video helps you, make sure to like, subscribe, and share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices. Helps you save a bunch of money. Please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Alright, anyways, usually on this model, if I remember correctly, the adhesive will kind of separate from the rubber piece, but let's see. Yeah, so here you can see this is coming out separate, and there's this black plastic layer that I'm gonna have to peel up. So to get that out, I'm gonna use a needle. You can use whatever you can to get underneath, but basically we have to peel this black plastic layer up. Okay. Alright, and get that out. Alright, so usually what I do is I'll peel up the black plastic partially, and then I will stick it together with the rubber. Okay, and have it stick back on. And then once you get that, you can actually pinch the 2 pieces together, and you want to pull it more straight out as you lift it. That way it will stay attached to the rubber piece. Okay. Oh, wait, what? It snapped off for some reason. So I don't know how that happened, but anyways, maybe this was opened up before and that's why it's separating. So we're gonna have to get underneath this again and peel it up again. Okay, so getting underneath the, okay, I don't know why that happened, but it did, so let's go ahead and peel that up. Alright, I don't know if you can see, we got 3 screws here. Is there one more? Okay, so there's 4 screws under here. We're gonna reattach this adhesive back on. Okay, so I'm just reattaching it to the rubber piece. I'll probably have to adjust it later, but anyways, we got that peeled off. Okay, and we'll set that aside. Alright, so let's go ahead and get these screws out. These are PH1 or JIS1 screws, so we're gonna have to switch screwdriver tips. Alright, and we'll remove those. So again, there's 4 screws under here, so let's go ahead and remove those. Okay. Okay, second one. That one's kind of stuck. I might have to use, oh, there we go. If they don't come out, I might have to use a magnet to get them out, but it looks like they're coming out. I just have to kind of wiggle it a bit. Go, and the last one. Okay, there we go. Now we got all these screws out. Let's see if we can pop this open with a suction cup or if we're gonna have to use some extra force. So let's try with a suction cup. I'm gonna hold down the edge here and see if we can pull it up. Doesn't seem to want to pop out. Let's try more on the side here. Nope. Let's try the back. Okay, so it looks like this model is probably gonna be kind of a pain to get up. I'm probably gonna have to use some pry tools along the edge. Oh, there we go. So we got this side out. Now I can get my fingernail under here. You can use pry tools if you want, but I use my fingernail because I can also push with my thumb here on the hinge while I try and pull this up, and it should help to also use the suction cup. So let's go like that. Alright, so here you can see we're getting this cover up. Now we're going to continue going along and see if we can pop up more. Nope, it's being difficult. So I guess we're going to go along the side here. Okay, I'm going to get my fingernails in there and push down with my thumb and pull up with my other fingernails, as you can see. Okay, so I'm pulling up with these while I push down with my thumb. And here you can see we're getting the clips out. Alright, let's continue going along, basically doing the same thing along here. Okay, as you can see, just like this. Alright, and you can see this cover's coming out. So we're going to move over to here and pull up this way, and this side is a lot more difficult. Once you get it unclipped a little bit, then you can hopefully get underneath. Let's try with the suction cup again. Okay, there's some strong clips in the middle under here, it seems. So we're gonna have to continue going around, I think. Yeah, that side's really stuck. So let's go over this way and continue working our way down. You can see it's mostly popped out already. And then we can go along this side. Okay, and there we go, it popped out. So here we got the bottom cover out now. All right, on this one the screen isn't working. Oh, as you can see, the battery's actually going bad on this. Here you can see the battery model number, VS03XL. Okay, right there, VS03XL. You can upgrade this to an SSD if you want, a 2.5-inch SATA SSD, excuse me. It's pretty dusty in here, so I am going to have to clean this out. So let me clean that up real quick, as well as the bottom cover, and I'll be back. All right, I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, I'm back. So we cleaned it up. All right, the bottom's a lot cleaner now, and the fan's all clean. No more gunk stuck in there. All right, so I'm not going to be taking this entire thing apart because the main issue with it is the screen, but I'll show a little bit. Okay, so let's see the hard drive here. Let's see if I can show this. So this is a 2.5-inch SATA hard drive. Usually on these you pull it up from this rubber piece, but the rubber is pretty old, so I'm not going to try and stretch it. Let's see if I can pull it out this way. Okay, so here you can see it pulls up just like this. All right, and if you're, oops, sorry, I was going out of view. And if you're going to be removing this, you flip this latch up, and then you can go ahead and pull this connector out just like this. It feels like it's actually held down with some adhesive, so you want to be careful pulling this connector out. Try and keep this as flat as possible as you pull it, and there we go. All right, I'm just going to put it back again. I don't want to mess around with it too much because the main issue is the screen, and I don't want to risk damaging other components. Even just doing that's a little bit risky, so let's go ahead and put this back. Okay, and let's drop the hard drive back into place. Again, you kind of want to get this side in first, so here you can see it hits the wall there, and then we're going to slowly squeeze this down into place. All right, again, you can change this to a 2.5-inch SATA SSD. It looks like this bracket just peels off. Actually, let me check that real quick. Okay, so this bracket, yeah, it peels off, and it has these little rubber nubs that hold it into the new hard drive. Or so we're gonna just put it like that. All right, let's go ahead and put it back again. I don't want to mess with this too much. So let's get this connector in. Okay, so most likely we're gonna have to replace the screen on this one. I'm gonna have to order a screen though. But anyways, let's go ahead and get this back in. We'll see if the customer wants to do that, because they might end up deciding not to get it fixed. So anyways, get that in. All right, get that all into place. Okay, so battery, I'm gonna disconnect the battery first. So the connector's right here. It has these little wings. I'm gonna just grab the wings with my fingernails and kind of just wiggle it as I kind of go to pull it out. So kind of just keep going left, right, all right, just like this. And eventually it should pop out. Let me get better leverage this way. I'm going to use 2 fingers here, and we're going to work it like this. Okay, and just keep slowly wiggling it. You'll see it slowly walks its way out, and there we go. All right, so to be safe for working on this, I'm going to, let's go zoom out. After removing that, there are less screws holding the hinges in place, so I'm going to hold the hinges with my thumbs, and I'm going to push the screen outwards like this. Okay, and then while holding the hinges, I'm using the screen on my desk to drag it open. All right, and then we're gonna press and hold the power button right here. Okay, and we're gonna do that for 15 seconds to drain any residual power. This will make it a lot safer to work on, especially since I'm gonna be working on the screen. I don't want to just work on that with power still in the capacitors and things like that. Okay, so about 15 seconds and you should be okay. If you want, you can hold it longer just to be extra safe, but about 15 seconds should do it. All right, now what I'm going to do, I'm holding on to the hinges again, and then I'm going to use my other fingers to close the screen, just like that. So all the pressure is on the hinges itself instead of like pulling on the screws here. Okay, so let's go over what's inside here. So you got the keyboard connector. This has a flip latch as well, keyboard backlight. This is most likely the trackpad. I'm not going to pull everything out. So, yep. All right, then we got the RAM here. So there's these two tabs. You just pull them away from the stick of RAM. Pops up at an angle like that. Then you can go ahead and pull it out. And this is a PC4 2400T, 8 gig. So you can get any PC4 2400T RAM. It should be okay. If you want, I believe there are 16 gig sticks, so you can get up to 32 gigs of RAM in here. They didn't put a stick of RAM in this side, so you can add a second stick. For most people, 8 gigs is already a lot. It's better to have 2 sticks to get dual channel memory going. So if you want to increase the performance, you could put a second matching 8 gig stick and your computer will be a lot faster. But I highly recommend an SSD. If you're going to only upgrade one thing, put an SSD. It'll make it a lot faster than if you just upgrade the RAM. If you can, I would recommend doing both. But again, if you can only do one, do the SSD. All right. Also, there's a 2.5-inch SATA hard drive here, but there's an M.2 slot here. I don't know if this supports PCIe NVMe or just M.2 SATA. I'm assuming it supports PCIe NVMe because there's a SATA drive here, so it wouldn't make sense for them to just add another SATA slot of this type. So you'll probably have to look it up or just experiment with it. I don't have one to test and I don't want to mess around with the customer's computer. So if you want to try it, you can go ahead and try it. And then you're going to need a screw here. So keep that in mind. You're going to need another small screw here to hold that down. You could technically just tape it down so it stays down flat, or yeah, but you probably want to try and find a screw to fit in there. Okay, then you got these two connectors. I don't know if they're okay. It looks like they are two separate connectors. I thought it was like going into one cable, but they attach them together with adhesive, so keep that in mind. They're both going into here, and that's for the two USB ports and the light here. So I don't know if that does anything else. Was the power button on that side? I don't remember. Yeah, the power button's also on this side. So it might also be for the power button as well. You got this one speaker here. Let's see, I don't see where the wire's going. So I see, okay, so the wire is, oops, sorry. You got the speaker here. The wire's going underneath here. And I think it's going into this speaker, and then they both connect right there. You got the wireless card here. You got the DC jack or charge port connector here. Also has the wings to wiggle and pull it out. If you remove it, you do have to take these hinge screws out and also this metal bracket to be able to pull the charge port or DC jack out. Okay, the motherboard also has this plastic bracket on it. I don't know why it has all these little plastic brackets here. But anyways, let's see, what else do we got? So we got the LCD Lvds connector here. If you are removing this, again, make sure to disconnect the battery and then press and hold the power button for 15 seconds. Okay, then you got this small connector going into the screen. So this is probably for the camera and microphones. All right, and you got the fan connector right there. And that's pretty much it. I think the fan you can remove if you take out these two other screws here. But again, I don't want to mess around with it too much. I already cleaned it up, so we should be okay. Let's see. Actually, this one's pretty easy to remove, so let me actually check that real quick. I'm just going to remove the two screws and see if we can lift that up. It's pretty low risk to do this, so let's see here. Okay, it seems you can lift it up. There's some adhesive here kind of in the way. So, and then be careful with all these cables. I kind of just want to see if there's dust stuck to the back of the thing, and nope, it looks good. So, oh, there's a little dust there. So I'm going to clean that up a little bit. Okay. All right, there we go. And let's put this back again, make sure it goes underneath all these little wires. And there's that little adhesive there that I'm gonna have to lift back up. Okay, I don't know why I'm making my job harder, but anyways, let's go ahead and get this fan back in. Okay, this fan is a little bit tricky to get back in, but there we go. Okay, you have to maneuver it just right. Then let's get these screws back in. Alright. I'm going to hold the fan up into place so that it stays as close to this heatsink as possible. Alright, and then tighten those screws, and there we go. Actually, I think I over-tightened that when I first did it. There we go. Okay. Alright, so now let's go ahead and see about working on the screen. And the hinge does have quite a few screws still in it, so it's probably okay to just open it normally, but again, I like to be extra safe and hold the hinges while I kind of push it open with my fingers like this, and then use the table to kind of open it all the way. Alright, let's go ahead now and tilt this over. So the screen's not coming up. It was doing some weird stuff and showing lines at one point, so most likely this screen is toast. Anyways, we're gonna remove this. Again, if you're gonna be removing the screen connections, make sure that you disconnect the battery and then press and hold the power button for about 15 seconds. Alright, so we're going to be peeling this up. It feels like there's actually an adhesive here, so this is going to be quite a difficult bezel to remove. Okay, so we're going to just keep peeling this up. Okay. Come on, why isn't it popping out? I don't know why, but this bezel is extremely difficult to remove. It doesn't want to pop out of the frame. So we're just going to keep going all the way around, I guess, and hopefully we can get it out. There we go. We got one out. Now hopefully the rest will be easier. So while we're pulling it up, what we're doing is we're also pushing it in towards the center of the screen. Okay, it might just be we need to pull harder. So there we go, they're coming out now. I'm using my thumb to push on the frame, not on this outside frame, but this bezel. Okay, and that helps me, as you can see, it helps lift it out. Okay, there we go. Again, this frame is really difficult to pop out, so keep that in mind. It's not an easy model to get this bezel off, especially with the adhesive that they put in there. Let me rotate this, and let's work on this side. Okay, try and get underneath and peel up the adhesive. Okay, you can feel the adhesive breaking. I think because it's somewhat old, the adhesive is kind of releasing a little bit easier. I'm gonna get my fingernail in that gap there and see if I can pull it up. Wow, this one is stuck really strong. Okay, I don't know, this one is really stuck in there. Okay, let's work our way up to this side and see if we have the same issue. Wow, that's really strong. Okay, let's rotate it. And let's pull up the adhesive over here. Okay, the adhesive is slowly peeling out. Do have to go somewhat slow. It's taking a while for the adhesive to release. Come on, let go. Wow, this bezel is really difficult to remove. Okay, let me put it this way and see if I can get a little bit better grip. Wow, it's holding on really, really strong. So I don't know why it's holding on so strong. You can actually see the clip there. That's how it holds in. Come on. Oh. Okay, well, the hard drive came out on its own, so hopefully it's okay. Let me set the hard drive aside for now. And let's continue trying to get this bezel out. Jeez, okay, there we go. Got that. Again, this is very difficult to remove. I don't know why, but it is. There we go. Okay, now that we've gotten the corner, it should be a little bit easier. There we go. Okay, I think these clips might be holding the other way, so let's try pulling it this way now. Okay, so I think maybe these bezels clips are going the other way, so now I pulled the bezel down towards myself and those came out. So let's see here. Is that how it's clipped? I don't know. Yeah, wait. Okay, yeah, so the clips are going the opposite way actually. That explains it. So, no wonder why it's so difficult. Okay, so on this model, you actually want to pull it away from the center. That's weird. Okay, so let's see if I'm right, if that will, I guess not. It won't make it easy. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so you want to actually pull it away from the center, so that's interesting. So there's a different design. So as you can see, as I'm pulling it this way, okay, and then lifting it, man, there's some adhesive here. Okay, is the adhesive still holding this side? Yeah. Okay, there you go. See, it unclips a lot easier now, but we do have to pull the adhesive out first, and then it works. So pull the adhesive out, and then pull it towards yourself, and there's still adhesive on this one. Okay, there we go. And yeah, it's coming out a lot easier now. That explains it. I'm surprised the clips held up so well. They didn't get damaged from that. All right, let's rotate this, and let's see about getting the bottom side of these clips out as well. So if it's like the other ones, then I'm gonna pull it down into that area. The only thing is they put adhesive there, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my flat tool here to push the plastic here. There's like a black plastic film there that you want to keep pressed against the screen. All right, these clips are actually a lot easier to remove, so there you go. All right, and let's see if we can remove this without taking the whole screen out. I might have to raise this up 90 degrees, and we might have to take the whole screen out because it is hitting the plastic down there. So I don't think opening this will help. Let's see, will it? Possibly. No. It's somewhat coming out. Okay, so we're just kind of pulling it. Oh yeah, it does come out. So there we go. We're kind of just wiggling it and pulling it, pushing it and pulling it up and down. There's some clips holding on down there, it seems. Where's the clip on this one? So the clips are all the way down there. So the bottom clip should actually just pull straight up. So I don't know why this side is like stuck in there. Come on, let go. There we go. Okay. So yeah, those clips were supposed to pull. Oh, they put some double stick adhesive here, here, and here. That's why it was so difficult. Okay, so there we go. We got that out. Now we're going to check the screen cable here. So we're going to do, I also like to make sure that these screws are all nice and tight, because if they come loose, they can tear the screws out from the screen. And they are a tiny bit loose, so I'm probably going to add some red thread locker because I want to make sure that these screws don't come loose. Okay, so I'm going to open this or close it a little to about 90 degrees. Let's get some red thread locker here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these little screws out, the bigger flat ones, and I'm going to add some red thread locker to these. And this will keep those screws from coming loose. and hopefully prevent it from breaking. The nice thing with this model, they actually made the area that the screws go into solid metal, part of this piece it seems, or actually it looks like it's not. But they made a solid metal piece that goes in, that the screws go into, and then that metal piece is glued to the back frame. I thought it was all one piece, but it's not. This one seems to be like probably a magnesium alloy from what I'm looking at from the texture and things like that. But anyways, let's go ahead and get the JB Weld into all of these. Okay. Or not JB Weld, the red thread locker. Okay. Okay. And this one, sure that those don't come loose, because they were a little bit loose. I was able to tighten them a bit more, and I don't want that to happen, because again, if they come loose, they can tear out the hinge mount system. Okay, so now that these screws are nice and tight, let's go ahead and go over to this side, and we'll do the same thing. Okay, I should probably do the same thing with the other side screws. We'll probably do that afterwards just to make sure. Okay. It looks like this screen is just held into this plate with 4 screws. Hopefully that's the case, because then that design is a lot easier to work on. If you're replacing the screen on yours, you do want to check and make sure that the screen model number is the same, because they can use different modeled screens. Sometimes they'll have different specs, and if you try and use a screen that's not compatible or not the same, you could damage your computer, or it might just be a waste of time and you won't even be able to use the screen. So keep that in mind. All right, last screw. Okay. There we go. Let's close this up. Okay, so I tightened these screws because these ones take all the force from the hinges opening and closing. Alright, so anyways, let's go ahead and remove the 4 screws holding the screen into place. Okay, again, keep them in order. Alright, and the last screw here. There we go. Alright, so let's go ahead and flip the screen forward. So I'm going to put this down this way, and I'm just going to grab the screen from one of these little metal tabs here where the screws were holding, and just slowly, carefully swing it forward. Uh-oh, it's held in with some adhesive here, it seems. Oh, seriously? So they used adhesive to hold the LCD Lvds connector onto the back of the frame, which is kind of a bad idea. That might be what damaged this, because then when pressure is on here, it kind of pulls at this. So anyways, if you need the screen model number, it's right here. Let's see if I can get a good close-up of this. Wow, I'm gonna have to zoom in a lot. The label here is really small. Oops, I left my charger on. Sorry, you are probably hearing some static. I forgot to turn off my phone charger. Anyways, here you can see, at least I think, LTN, there you go, LTN 156FL06-301. So there's the model number, and yeah, LTN, do they have it anywhere else? I think that's it, LTN 156FL06-301. Okay, and then they have this label for the LCD Lvds connector if you need that for some reason. It says it's a non-touch 40-pin connector. Okay, so anyways, let's go ahead and we're gonna disconnect the cable and then reconnect it and just see if that will help the screen at all. I doubt it, but it's worth a shot. So let's go ahead and remove this here. And the way I'm gonna do that, oh, it's not focusing. The way I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna use this plastic razor blade to try and cut underneath the adhesive. Here you can see it's coming up. I'm just using it to kind of cut through the adhesive here. Okay, we're gonna go work our way over this way and continue cutting the adhesive. Okay, let's see if we can actually peel this up now. There we go. And then what we're going to do is we're going to disconnect this cable. So you just kind of pull it back. It doesn't have any latches or anything. It comes out just like that. Sorry, I should have zoomed in a bit for this. And then we're basically just going to reconnect it. Make sure that it's tight, holding itself tight in place. I don't like that adhesive here, but yeah, this adhesive here is a bad idea because when stress is put on the case, it pulls on this cable. So it's actually, you should cover this adhesive. I'm going to get a piece of tape and just cover that up. Okay, so that way it doesn't stick anymore. Okay. So we're just going to cut a piece of tape here. And we're just going to stick it onto there. That's probably way too much. Right. Okay, so let's go ahead and stick this on. So I'm just going to cover up that adhesive there because I don't want that sticking onto it anymore. Okay. All right, so now let's go ahead and get this connector back in. So get it all lined up. It's a little tricky. I'm using these fingers to hold it because this plastic tab is very stiff, so it's causing the thing to rotate. All right, once you get it, into place, you want to try and pull the corners, the side edges in, and make sure it clicks into place. All right, I can feel it went in properly. So we're gonna hold this down, and because the adhesive isn't as strong now, I'm gonna actually put some new tape here to hold that into place. Okay, I'll use the other tape strip here. This side had a little more adhesive, but we're gonna put that as well, just to be safe. Okay, so there we go. Now that's holding the screen in place. Let's go ahead and put the screen back in. So we're gonna put that tape away. All right, so the screen, just lift it back up, get it into place so that those 4 screw mounts line up again. Okay. I'm gonna flip it back to lay on its back, just like this. All right. And then we just put back those 4 screws that we took out. All right. If you want, at this point, you can actually test the screen. So we're actually gonna power it up again after this. So let's get all these 4 screws back in. And then we're just gonna put the battery in and test it. I am going to have to put the hard drive back in because it fell out, but let's go ahead and see. Most likely we're gonna have to replace the screen. I think it was damaged, but let's go ahead and see. I think the customer, when they showed the symptoms, it looked like it was actually damaged, so I don't think this fixed the problem. Anyways, let's go ahead and plug this battery connector back in. So just make sure it's all lined up. Make sure if you got a new battery that these gold pins are facing up. You don't want the other side facing up or you can damage your computer. Right, pinch this back into place. Kind of working my way left to right. There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and power it up and see what we got. I don't have the hard drive connected right now, but we'll see what happens. Okay, let's power it up. Is there charge in it? Okay, it is. I see the screen lit up. Ooh, we might be good to go. So it's saying hard disk not found. So I think I was right. The adhesive was sticking it to the back and it yanked the thing out. So we might be good to go. I'm gonna put the hard drive back in and we're gonna test it. See, that's why I probably shouldn't have pulled the hard drive out and made it loose. So let's go ahead and stick I showed this already multiple times, so I'm gonna be kind of doing it off camera a bit. You guys get the idea, hopefully. If you don't, you probably want to rewind and rewatch again. Okay, let me make sure that's in all the way. Okay. Hard drive connector, make sure the wings are in. Alright, and let's get this hard drive back in. Alright, so we got the hard drive back in. Let's go ahead and power it up. I'm going to hold it in place in case it falls out again. And let's hope we have... Uh-oh, so the screen is having issues, as you can see. So I was wrong. Maybe it was when I had it in a certain position it was okay, but now it's going crazy again. Interesting. I wonder why it was working okay for that one, for those few seconds where it was showing the BIOS thing. Now it's just completely black. Yeah, so most likely gonna have to replace the screen. I spoke too soon. I thought it was okay, but it looks like we just got some moment of luck. There we go, it's on. So yeah, most likely it's gonna start flickering and going bad again, so we're probably gonna have to replace the screen. I'm not sure where it's bad. Okay, here you can see when I pushed there it went crazy. So alright, anyways, we're gonna go ahead and reassemble this thing, and yeah, so let me close this back down. We're gonna put the bottom cover back first, that way we don't risk dropping the hard drive out. So I'm going to close this up. Okay, and I was pushing on the hinges to keep it flat. Okay, I don't know if I should put this back because that's going to be a pain. I'm going to have to take it all back out. Well, I guess for the video I'll just do it and then I'll have to take it out again later, but alright, let's go ahead and get this all back into place. Just get everything lined up. Click it all into place. This one is quite a pain to take apart and put back, but alright. And then there are clips in the center too, so you kind of want to push those down. Okay, and let's go ahead now and put all the screws back in. So again, there are the PH1 or JIS1 screws here that were underneath the adhesive strip, so we're going to get those first. Okay, so those 4 screws. But other than that, that's pretty much it. I'm going to be putting back all the screws and the bezel, so if you're not sure how to do that, make sure to stick around. Alright, if this video helped you, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can also learn how to upgrade and repair their devices. If it helped you save a bunch of money, again, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. These are customer computers, so keep that in mind. Most of the time, by the time you see my videos, I won't actually have the computer available. So hopefully the video as is will be self-explanatory enough. Though I do have other videos, so if you can't figure things out from this video, feel free to watch some of my other videos and you might be able to figure them out. Alright, I think if you watch probably about 5 to 10 of my videos, you can probably figure out how to repair most, or not repair, but take apart most computers. So if you watch different models, most of them are pretty similar. There are a little bit of other designs that are harder to figure out, but for the most part, the computers are all pretty similar. Okay, so I don't know why this clip here keeps popping, but I'll probably check it later when I open it again, but there we go. Alright, let's go ahead and get this plastic piece. So this one, the plastic separates, so what we're going to do is we're going to peel this off first and stick that into place, okay, to make sure it goes in the right spot. So the plastic itself isn't really stretchy, so it kind of keeps its shape to fit properly. Alright, the rubber piece after, you'll have to kind of make sure to get it lined up properly. Okay, so let's peel this one out as well. Okay, just like this. Peel that up. And we're going to do the same thing. Just get that into place. It did curl kind of weird, but there we go. Alright, get that all lined up. Just like that, and there we go. Okay, and then we just stick this piece back on top. And get both these edges in. Then work your way towards the center, and there we go. So we got that all in. Now let's go ahead and put the screen bezel back on. If the screen is on, I'm gonna actually have to shut the computer down first. I think it's on, but yeah, it's doing the weird, crazy, glitchy thing. And I think it's all from, yeah, it's all from this side, it seems, because when I kind of pushed there, it went weird, different. So most likely at some point this thing got some pressure, too much pressure on it, and then it got screwed up. So as you can see, it acts more crazy when I kind of push it here or flex it there. See? Okay, so anyways, let's go ahead and put the bezel back in. So to get that back in, you just slide this in. Let's see, we're gonna open the screen all the way. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna tilt this forward slightly to get it to follow the curve, and then we're gonna lean it back, and then we're gonna get this in. Okay, I think that's in. Good. All right, and then we're gonna go ahead and try and get these in. So if it's like the other ones, we have to slightly pull it out. So I'm slightly pulling it out with my thumb as I kind of push it in. Okay, let me see if I can show this better. So there we go. Slightly pulling it out with my thumb as I push it down. Right, gonna do the same thing with this one, and that's how you get these clips in, because these clips are facing outwards a little. So there we go. All right, the top corners are always kind of a pain. All right, so let's see here, make sure to clip these in as well. These are kind of, I don't know why they're not going down. There we go. Okay. So I'm gonna have to let the customer know we're gonna have to order a replacement screen for this one. I don't know why this bezel's being such a pain to go back in. All right. So this side. Okay, get that in. This one's a little, the corners are more tough. Come on, get in there. Go. All right. Get in there. There we go. All right, so we got all of that in. This side, the adhesive isn't holding anymore. Okay, so I'll probably have to put some new adhesive there. This clip, for some reason, I guess it must have got damaged. Anyways, this side, these clips are not wanting to go in, so let's take a look here and see what we got. I think it's probably not pushed down all the way. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Hopefully this video helped you guys. Again, if it did, like, subscribe, share my channel with others. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. All right, let's drop this.